Fox 54 Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Jordan, will tonight be the quiet calm before the storm?
Yeah, for the most part, we are going to remain quiet as we head into the later part of the evening and then through the early part of the overnight. But then we're going to head into your Friday. Friday is a Fox 54 Weather Impact Alert Day. Like Kenesha said, we are talking about some incredibly heavy rain that's going to build into our neck of the woods. Radar looks nice and quiet this evening, despite the cloud cover and the moisture that's been present. If you spend any time outside at all today, you probably noticed it was just a touch on the humid end of things. Definitely did not feel like early January. But again, things are going to begin to change and escalate very quickly as we head into your Friday. Friday, we're already talking about a flood watch that's going to be in place across all of North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. That flood watch is going to be with us for a prolonged period of time. It's not going to expire until we get to noon on Saturday. And that is just simply because we're talking about 1 to 3 inches of rain area-wide across all of North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. But then when you get east of the I-65 corridor, look at this. We could be talking about 4, 5, or even 5.5 inches of rain. Now, there have been some small changes in the overall track that could limit the amount of rain up across southern Middle Tennessee. All of that, plus there is a low chance of some strong and severe thunderstorms tomorrow. We'll talk about it all in great detail here in a bit.
Tensions escalate in Minneapolis tonight. Minnesota investigators claiming they've been prohibited from taking part in the investigation into the deadly ICE shooting. 37-year-old Renee Good was shot and killed by an ICE agent yesterday while allegedly attempting to run over an agent with her car. Here's a video of those moments. DHS says the agent feared for his life and the safety of the public, but city and state officials say that video evidence disproves that. The FBI is now solely in charge of this investigation after Minnesota officials say they've been frozen out. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is now demanding President Trump leave the state and the investigation alone.
The goal here is to make America safe, is what he said. There is no verifiable evidence that any of this is making America safer. I would ask him to de-escalate in the moment, to allow Minnesotans to back up and grieve, to allow this investigation to be played out by the rule of law. I said it again, I have not passed any judgment on this. And to please, whatever it is, leave Minnesota alone.
Minnesota's public safety commissioner said if the BCA can't conduct a full investigation, the state cannot file charges. The shooting has led to various protests and vigils across the country. And that brings us back to the Tennessee Valley, where several people gathered outside Huntsville City Hall to voice their concerns. Fox 54's Gabe Glassman spoke with one of the organizers about their call for change.
In front of Huntsville City Hall, a group of people attending what they're calling an emergency vigil. Organizers calling for no more ICE murders. Full disclosure, we're a little bit down the road right now due to some expletives on some signs. The movement is calling for an end to violence and to stand in solidarity for victims of ICE cruelty. One organizer we spoke to says he was emotional after hearing about the events taking place in Minneapolis on Wednesday.
I cried. That is a role that many of my crew and myself have done to watch and keep ICE accountable, watch and keep law enforcement accountable. So it hit very close to home for us. This should be a subject everyone feels passionate about. I mean, this is your neighbors disappearing. They've decided to escalate the situation from this and go door to door and give ICE agents immunity. So this is showing up to work and your coworkers no longer being there. This is leaving your house and your neighbors have been gone for a week. So this should be on everybody's mind.
Coming up later tonight on Fox 54 News, and I will hear more from organizers and why they felt the need to host tonight's event. In Huntsville, Gabe Glassman, Fox 54 News.
After the vigil, attendees there at the Huntsville City Council meeting have their voices heard by local officials. Here's a live look inside the City Council meeting happening right now. On the agenda is a resolution to approve a $12 million contract with the Fike Construction Company to continue the Big Spring Park expansion. The City Council will also look to introduce more land annexations, including just under 650 acres of land south of I-565, spanning both the east and west sides of Swancott Road. The meeting is open to the public in the council chambers on the first floor of City Hall. It's day 2 for a hearing between the Bell Mina community and a local quarry that residents say is disturbing their peace. Here's a map the plaintiffs presented showing the quarry's location is right across the street from a neighborhood. Residents and experts claim the dust, noise level, and bright lights in the area cause a public nuisance. An attorney with the Southern Environmental Law Center, representing Belle Mina, Sarah Stokes, says the evidence shows what the court calls irreparable harm.
What is more irreparable than being forced out of your home? A home that you've had in your generation and your family for generations. What is more irreparable than seeing your church that you built up be destroyed because of the quarry? Literally, they are fleeing their homes because of the quarry.
The defendants, Grayson Carter and Son, provided expert testimony of their own, saying it's all within regulations, but nearby residents say a visit to the community says otherwise.
I really would invite anyone to come out and experience firsthand what we're dealing with daily. Once you see it firsthand, you cannot deny that what we're dealing with is, it's terrible. It's terrible that my family and the community is having to deal with this.
The defense team for the quarry operator declined to comment on both days of the hearing. They're deferring a statement until after Judge Matthew Huggins renders his decision tomorrow. Morgan County judge has set the bond for the suspect in a shooting on New Year's Day. Roger Clayton, picture here, accused of shooting and killing Stephen McCulloch in Hartselle. According to the Morgan County DA's office, Clayton's bond is set at $300,000. The court also requires Clayton to avoid contacting the victim's family. Clayton must also wear an ankle monitor, undergo drug testing, and turn over any guns he may own. A new legislative session starts Tuesday, the starting point for a slate of potential new laws that could impact you. This includes Senate Bill 19. Alabama State Senator Steve Livingston stopped at our FOX54 station today, and he says he filed the bill offering free high-risk screenings for prostate cancer, a significant disease among Black men and high-risk men. Here's a listen to what he says the bill would do.
It eliminates the cost on pre-screening for cancer for folks that are at high risk levels that were previously were not at the age category where they would have to pay. So it just eliminates that cost factor. Today's healthcare system, we don't need folks being sick as costly as it is. If we can catch it up front, let's catch it up front.
Livingston says this will be at least his third year filing the bill addressing prostate cancer screenings. Tonight at 9, he'll tell us about 5 objectives he says he and other lawmakers plan to tackle this year.
It's going to be awesome for us to be able to effectuate some of the outcomes that we want to have in workforce and economic development.
A new opportunity with the new Career Center now open in Athens, one of the fastest growing cities in Alabama. We've got to look inside. And big changes on when mail is postmarked. We hear from leaders in the Tennessee Valley on how this could impact voting. For decades, if you dropped off a mail-in ballot in the mailbox by voting day, the postmark would prove you voted on time, thus counting your vote. In a recent statement, the agency called it a myth that postmarks are a guaranteed service provided to prove a mailing date. Instead, officials say the postmark is an internal tool used to cancel postage, and that the date is determined when an envelope hits the sorting machine at a regional hub. Fox 54's Logan Alexandra Russell breaks down what this means for you.
In the past, people assumed the moment they dropped their mail off, whether it would be in a mailbox or to a carrier, that it was officially mailed on that day. However, that is not the case. The reality is the USPS only stamps the date or postmark when your letter reaches a regional processing hub and goes through a giant sorting machine. Under the new rules, the date on your mail now reflects when it was processed at a regional hub, not necessarily when you handed it to a postal worker or dropped it in a collection box. This means if your letter sits in a truck or at a local facility overnight before hitting the automated sorting machines, it could be postmarked a day or even several days late. For example, if you mail a letter on Monday, it might not get to the hub until Tuesday and processed until Tuesday, which means it will be postmarked on Tuesday. Many have concerns about what this could mean for voting ballots or important mail that rely on the postmark date.
Doesn't matter what the postmark is. It's like they go to the post office box and they open the box and whatever's sitting there, those are the ones that they count. You know, anything before or up to that point, they count on election day. The big message is to start early.
USPS says it did not create postmarks for the public's benefit, but their own internal purposes. Postal offices recommend going inside to the retail counter to request a manual postmark for time-sensitive documents. In Huntsville, Logan Alexandra Russell, Fox 54 News.
And what's interesting about this too, Logan Alexandra, we were just talking about it. Here in Huntsville, if you're mailing something out, it actually goes to Birmingham first.
Yes, so it has to go down there to be processed. That's where the hub is, and then it will come back up to North Alabama. If you're sending something while you're in Huntsville to somebody else in Huntsville,
Right.
It does have to go down there first.
Yes, and we do know, as we heard from Kathy Jones with League of Women Voters of the Tennessee Valley, that this could have some impacts on voting ahead of this year.
Yes, and so basically what she told me was that regardless, try to get your ballots in early. You have 60 days, up to 60 days before to get it in. So make sure that you guys are going in, getting it in early, because even though the ballots themselves, they're counted all the way up to election day, the date that is postmarked does not actually, and she did verify, it does not actually mean that's when they're going to count the vote.
Yeah, this is very critical information that I'm sure we'll continue to follow. Thank you so much, Logan Alexandra. All right, coming up, fans of disc golf will take you to Decatur, where there's some major renovations on the green. Details ahead. In the meantime, while we talk outdoors, Jordan, we are preparing for a Fox 54 Weather Impact Alert Day.
Yeah, not only are we talking about extremely heavy rain across the Tennessee Valley as we head into your Friday, but we're also talking about a low-end threat, extremely low-end threat for some strong or marginally severe thunderstorms. We'll talk about it in just a bit.
With the new year comes new careers, and over in Athens and Workforce Alabama, it launched its first career center here in the Tennessee Valley to help you find work. Well, check this out. The state agency worked alongside Athens State University to bring the center to its Chastain Hall. You just saw the ribbon cutting there, where they'll be offering services in a three-pronged approach. That's furthering your education, training, and helping you find a job. Workforce Alabama's Deputy Secretary Harrison Adams says this is a big gain for one of the state's fastest growing cities.
It's going to be awesome for us to be able to effectuate some of the outcomes that we want to have in workforce and economic development in this area. Like I've said, that business is booming in this area of the state, and we want to be a part of it, and we want to get people in jobs, and that's what we're excited to do and look forward to doing in the next year.
Adams says the Athens Limestone Career Center was almost a year in the making, and there's more on the way. But now that it's open, you can use the center's services by stopping in. Very exciting. Well, Huntsville City Schools officials gathered today to break ground on a massive shared campus that will house 3 different programs. Yeah, the big reveal, the 29-acre site will house the new Chapman Middle School, the STEM Magnet Middle School, and the Artemis Virtual Academy. The $70 million project at the existing Chapman Elementary site is part of the district's 10-year capital plan. Superintendent Dr. Clarence Sutton says this project is a vital investment for the district's future.
Huntsville is the place where dreams become reality. And as an educator, that means a lot because it's a rare thing to find where you can have this type of support for public education. So personally, I want to thank all of you for building a community that supports education.
The nearly 162,000 square foot facility will feature an e-gaming lab and a specialized arena for drones and robotics. District leaders say the goal is to honor Chapman's history while providing tech-heavy spaces for students across the city.
Now, the Tennessee Valley's certified most accurate forecast from the FOX54 Weather Impact Team.
Ooh, just look at here. Dark clouds rolled into the Tennessee Valley. It's a sign of things to come ahead of a FOX54 Weather Impact Alert Day.
Yes, indeed. I hope everybody was able to enjoy today, despite the lack of sunshine. I still think it was a wonderful afternoon with the warmer temperatures, but today was the last enjoyable warm day we're going to get for quite some time.
Oh, are you saying like for the winter season?
Maybe not necessarily for the winter season, but through the foreseeable future, as we should expect, because it is early January across the Tennessee Valley, and we should anticipate colder air building into the area. A live look out over the Parkway this evening, nice and quiet. Traffic appears to be moving smoothly as we get ready to approach half past the hour. Not a lot going on. We are talking about some cloud cover, but we're not talking about any rain. Things, however, going to begin to change in a rather big way as we head into your Friday. Friday is going to be a FOX54 Weather Impact Alert Day. We're talking about heavy rain that's going to begin late tonight, early tomorrow morning, and then continue through the early or even the middle part of Saturday morning. Flooding is going to be a concern, probably even as we head into Saturday afternoon, given the amount of rain that we're going to get across the Tennessee Valley. At the same time, there is a very low conditional threat for some strong or marginally severe thunderstorms across the Tennessee Valley. What is a conditional threat? Well, it means that all of the atmospheric parameters have to come into play ever so perfectly for that threat for severe weather to actually come to fruition. Right now, the overall threat for severe weather across the Tennessee Valley remains incredibly low. Our big focus is going to be on the flooding concern across the Tennessee Valley. As a matter of fact, a flood watch has already been issued for all of North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee, and that is going to run until the lunch hour on Saturday. I want you to look at these forecast rainfall totals through the lunch hour on Saturday. Widespread across the entire Tennessee Valley, 1 to 3 inches of rain. But then it looks like there's going to be this swath of heavier precipitation that's going to develop east of the I-65 corridor, specifically across northeast Alabama, Jackson, DeKalb, down into Marshall counties, where we could be looking at 3 to 5 inches of rain. Locally, we could be talking about 5.5 inches of precipitation through Friday afternoon, Friday evening, and then into the overnight. It does look like the axis of heaviest precipitation is shifting to the south ever so slightly, so that would limit some of the higher rainfall totals up across southern Middle Tennessee. If the threat for severe weather were to come to fruition, then we would be looking at the concern for maybe some gusty, damaging winds, and an isolated tornado certainly can't be ruled out. But again, the overall threat for severe weather is incredibly low. Regardless, the heavy rain is all but a guarantee. All of this activity is going to be associated with a cold front that is currently back off to the west. That cold front's not actually going to push through the Tennessee Valley until we get to Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon. So here's Futurecast. As we head into the earliest hours of your Friday morning, a couple of isolated showers begin to develop. This activity becomes more widespread as we head into the morning commute. Not everybody's going to get rain, but understand that you should probably allow yourself a couple of extra minutes, as we are going to be talking about showers and thunderstorms in some capacity for the Friday morning commute. That activity is going to continue as we head into the later part of the morning. Becomes more widespread through the early part of the afternoon. 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we're talking about widespread heavy rain across the Tennessee Valley. We're talking about some embedded thunderstorms here as well. And when that widespread heavy precipitation builds in, it's not going anywhere. 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, we're still talking about those heavier bands of precipitation. The heaviest of the rain does look like it is going to be positioned east of the I-65 corridor as we head into the earliest hours of your Saturday morning. It's not really going to begin to clear the area until we get to the middle part of Saturday morning. Once we get to Saturday afternoon, it does look like we are going to begin to dry out, even beginning to clear out by the time we get to Saturday evening and then into the overnight. Once we get to that period of time, the cooler air is going to begin to settle into the area. Have a good look at the next 7 days. Fox 54 weather impact alert day on Friday. Still going to be warm though, 67 degrees. Even warm on Saturday, given the timing of the cold front. But then cooler Sunday, Monday, 42 and 46 respectively. Lower 50s Tuesday, Wednesday, 53 on Tuesday, 51 Wednesday. Small chance of rain on Wednesday, back into the lower 40s by the time we get to Thursday of next week. A sharp turn back to reality, reminding us that it is in fact still winter.
The city of Madison announced today that Operation Christmas Cleanup is postponed until next week. The event allows Huntsville and Madison residents to recycle live Christmas trees, cardboard, batteries, and electronics like what you see on your screen. 2 locations make it easy: John Hunt Park in Huntsville and Madison City Schools Stadium in Madison. The city says the event was postponed due to inclement weather. The cleanup will now occur on Saturday, January 17th. City of Decatur is celebrating the completion of major renovations at the Flying Dragon Disc Golf Course at the Jack Allen Recreation Complex. The upgrades focus on holes 11 through 18, which include new concrete tee pads. Check it out. Refurbished baskets, updated signage, improved walkways, and added safety features. Originally built in 2012 for amateur play, the renovations were 2 years in the making and is designed to be more accessible and player-friendly.
Big things are the tee pads throughout all the carpet and the gravel. We've got concrete tee pads. The baskets now been repainted. A lot of guys like to use carts when they play disc golf, and you really couldn't do it back there. You had to, pacers had to lift up your cart and move it over. But he smoothed some of that out, put some gravel out there, so it's now a nice, safe, good, cart-friendly disc golf course.
A great update. Well, the city of Decatur says the updates are aimed at attracting new players and growing disc golf across North Alabama, with the 2027 Disc Golf World Championships coming to Huntsville, expected to bring even more attention to the sport.
Nate Oates and the Alabama Crimson Tide dropping their first SEC bout of the season last night against Vandy. Stay tuned. I've got a recap next.
Fox 54 Sports is sponsored by Alpha Insurance.
Welcome to sports, the first premier matchup of the season in the Southeastern Conference, taking place last night in Nashville between Alabama and Vanderbilt. Both teams were ranked in the top 25 heading into this one, and it was Vandy that prevailed with a 96-90 victory over the Tide. The Crimson Tide had a problem with Tyler Tanner, who scored 23 of his career-high 29 points in the second half. Nate Oates' team shot 37% from the field and 22% from a three-point range while having a turnover margin of -6. Coach Oates explained what else went wrong last night.
They played better than us. Bottom line, that's it. I mean, we didn't score it well enough because I didn't think we got as good shots we needed to get. We didn't move the ball like we needed to. We had 9 assists on the game. Ball didn't move. We fouled too much. We didn't make our free throws like we needed to. Just a lot of stuff you got to do to win big basketball games. We didn't do well enough tonight. So, and a lot of it's due to Vanderbilt. I mean, they're tough, physical, got good guard play.
Moving over to college football, Gio Lopez is staying in the ACC. After entering the transfer portal on Monday, the James Clemens High School alumnus signing with Wake Forest just 72 hours later. Last season at Carolina, Lopez started 11 games for Bill Belichick's Tar Heels. He threw for over 1,700 yards and 10 touchdowns while rushing for an additional 3 on the ground. Speaking of college football, the semifinals of the playoffs beginning tonight with Miami and Ole Miss at the Fiesta Bowl at 6:30. Then on Friday, Oregon and Indiana will square off in a rematch at the Peach Bowl, also at 6:30 on Friday evening. Both games are live on ESPN. That does for sports this evening. I'm Mo Carter.
Coming up on Fox 54 News at 9, tomorrow is a Fox 54 Weather Impact Alert Day. And before the rainfall, we're going to tell you just how to prepare. The Festival of Cranes starts tomorrow in Decatur, and crews are hard at work getting ready for not just crowds of people, but also the birds. Details ahead. And the Huntsville City Council is meeting right now to approve a contract to continue renovations to Big Spring Park. We'll tell you the results tonight at 9.
Have a good look at the next 7 days. Again, like Kanisha just said, Fox 54 Weather Impact Alert Day as we head into your Friday. We are talking about some extremely heavy rain across the Tennessee Valley Friday afternoon and Friday evening. That's going to be the big concern as we head into your Friday. Flooding definitely going to be a concern. And then there is a low end threat for some strong or marginally severe thunderstorms. It's not going to be a cold rain, so that's a little bit of an upside.